Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. I am Kristen Fehrenbach. I'm the Senior Director of our Microsoft Go-to-Market business here at Pax8. Thank you so much for joining. I am super excited for today because I know we have promised you all a live demo, but I was told, I'm a little nervous about this, but my producer told me that we had a surprise video, so we're gonna see this together. Let's go ahead and play it. Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled.
Hey everybody, I'm Kristen Fehrenbach. I'm the Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market Solutions here at Pax8. Super excited to be kicking off Technically Unraveled. Welcome to our first show.
Happy show-iversary, Kristen.
Kristen, congratulations. 1 year on Technically Unraveled. Where has the time gone, am I right?
Just wanted to say congratulations on 1 year of Technically Unraveled.
Roger, this might be the most important question of the whole day.
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
How do you feel about pumpkin spice lattes?
I cannot disclose that information. That is confidential.
Incredible job, 1 year of Technically Unraveled.
Matt, I want to welcome you on. Thanks so much for joining today.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me on quite possibly one of the most exciting days since I've been with Pax8. It's great.
You've gone from strength to strength as a host. You're doing an amazing job. Looking forward to the next year of Technically Unraveled.
Congratulations on 1 year of Technically Unraveled. It's been so exciting to watch you grow what was once a small idea to demystify Microsoft topics to what has become a large, successful show where each week viewers tune in order to learn more about what they need to focus on their Microsoft business and what's important in the channel.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We've got a lot of content to cover.
You always help us laugh while we're learning. And I think it's great that partners get to meet you through Technically Unraveled and get to learn what kind of fun we all have supporting Microsoft here at Pax8.
Congrats on 1 year. I just want to say thank you for making my Thursday afternoons at work infinitely more interesting.
I made some diva demands that I must be on screen as much as possible this time around, so I got as much time as possible in. I got you.
Green Skittles must be on camera first and foremost.
How did you know about the Green Skittles?
It's been an incredible year of being mildly abused with acronyms and made into GIFs, and I've had a blast. Every single time I'm on, we have fun, and I can't wait to do another episode.
Kristen, happy 1 year of Technically Unraveled. You have done an incredible job, and I have loved getting to work with you and learn way more than I ever thought I would know about Microsoft. So thank you so much for showing up every week and always encouraging me to get some sunshine.
Congrats to the TU crew for 1 year of informative shows benefiting our Pax8 partners.
Thanks for tuning in this week. Also, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, because we've got lots of content that's upcoming. Well, that makes sense why they didn't tell me what it was. You guys are all too sweet. This whole year has flown by so quick. We have so much fun doing this show. So big thank you to everybody who is pretty much told that we are doing the shows together. So I look forward to this next year. I think we're going to have some really great stuff. So, all right, back to it. Let's go ahead and jump right into our updates, everybody. All right. So we've talked a lot about our Microsoft Hub and Academy. Now, I want to make sure that you know about this one particular part. It's called Hands-On Labs. Now, these are typically paid, but we are making sure they're free to you as partners. So make sure you go into your Hub, and I think it's the third little box you'll see, and it says Hands-On Labs. You've got Modern Work and Azure. We have some ones that were already recorded if you just can't make any of the new ones. But go ahead and sign up for one of those new ones if you can, because there's a live proctor. They're there to help. A lot of stuff gets covered in these, and you can really pick one that makes the most sense for your business, whether it be Azure Fundamentals, AVD. We've got some intro ones. You choose, but they're free to you as partners. I'd love to make sure you know about those. All right. Microsoft newsletters went out this morning. These are our number one way to communicate to you as partners. So I know we always put that huge list of links, same link every time, guys. So make sure you go in and refresh that link. There's a ton of stuff. It talks about legacy to NCE, of course, but I know you're still going to have questions, so reach out to your account team. All right, this one is a new one, everybody. So Azure Reserved Instances. Ashley Moretti sent this over to me, and I want to make sure that we are talking about it because the exchange policy that was supposed to happen in January, that's been pushed out all the way out to June. So it's going to be the beginning of the Microsoft fiscal year, but I still want you to get ahead, make sure you're looking at those changes. That's also going to be in the partner newsletter, so make sure you go check it out. All right. Microsoft is starting to enforce some data quality reviews. Now, this is as of December 6th, and you might just say, like, I don't really know what that is. What do you want me to do here? But I want you to go in. You've got to check your legal status in Partner Center to make sure that it's verified. You're going to get this cute little green check mark when it is. If you have the red X, we got some problems, but please make sure you go in, check your legal status. This is going to happen regularly throughout Microsoft. So want to make sure that you don't lose access to anything, nothing weird happens. So this is something that's just going to be a repetitive thing. Make sure that you have all of your checks and all of that good stuff happening on your end. All right. Last one is add-on license change. Now, with NCE, we know things have gotten a little bit more complicated if you're wanting to change from where you buy your licensing. So we've changed a policy here at Pax8 where you can actually purchase your add-ons now through us, even if your actual parent SKU isn't through Pax8 yet. I do want to make sure that we do call out that you need to make sure that your base license is purchased first on the tenant prior to the add-on. Otherwise, it's going to fail. We're going to have a support ticket. So I just want to make sure that you know that if you're looking to transition over to Pax8, you don't have to wait now. So you can go ahead and purchase your add-on license. Just make sure that your parent is actually already purchased in that same tenant. If you have questions, reach out to that account team, your productivity, your SOCO, whoever that is, and they will help walk you through it. But let's go ahead and jump right in because I know you're excited to meet who is going to do our live demo today. Tamim, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, and congrats on 1 year.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you were with me right before we started, and I was like, I don't know what this is, so hang with me. So, Tamim, tell us who you are, what do you do, and I like to start with the fun facts. That way we all get to know you a little better.
Yeah, so my name is Tamim Chowdhury. I work at Microsoft in the Modern Work Business Group. I look after Copilot and Windows 365 for our Modern Work CSP channel. Fun fact, let's see. My wife and I have 3 big dogs, and they take up pretty much all our time. And anytime we do have free time, they take it up. And even when we don't have free time, they take up that time as well. So I guess that's my fun fact.
I love it. I have to go and lock Winston up every time before the show because he is a little abrasive during, it's only when I'm on camera and I'm on calls, but he knows his time. So, all right. He knows. He's like, oh, you're presenting something? I've got something for you. So you really do specialize in Copilot, and I'm really excited to have you on because I want to talk about, let's just kind of start. I know you've got a couple slides for us to go through about, what is Copilot, what is Bing Chat Enterprise. So if you don't mind, just kind of take us through a little bit about Copilot before we jump into the live demo.
Yeah, so what was Bing Chat Enterprise is now Copilot. Specifically Copilot, the commercial data protection. And I'll have a couple slides that I'll talk through in detail a little bit more here, but Copilot is your everyday AI assistant. We want to make it so it's easy for users to have an AI assistant anywhere they go on their PCs, on their mobile devices. And so Copilot was introduced to make that life easier for everyone as an extension of your everyday Copilot. All right, and so before I actually jump into what is Copilot, I want to start here. It's kind of amazing what ChatGPT did in 3 months and what took mobile phones to get 16 years, the internet 7 years, and Facebook 4.5 years. So I think it's no question that we are, without a doubt, in the era of AI. And on the next slide, you'll see that the promise of AI is real. And we even see that 87% of businesses believe that AI will give them a competitive advantage. Next slide, please. So we know that businesses are ready to use AI, they're ready to leverage it, and there are a couple of different things that have come up recently. 92% of employees have said they have already used AI in some capacity, but at the same time, we have big organizations and companies who have discouraged employees from using AI tools due to risk of data leakage. And so that's where we introduced Copilot, and it was formerly known as Bing Chat Enterprise. On the next slide. So, like I mentioned, Copilot, formerly known as Bing Chat Enterprise, is your everyday AI companion. It's generally available today for all users who are on select number of SKUs, but eventually we'll have it roll out to everyone who has Entra ID. Let's go to the next slide. And so Copilot, different from other AI out there, obviously. Main reason why is because of commercial data protection. We don't save prompts, we don't save the answers, we don't use the prompts or the answers to train the AI model. We even also have the latest and greatest AI models using GPT-4 for text and DALL-E 3 for images. Not to mention, all of this comes at no additional cost for eligible licenses and for Entra ID users. Transparency is also achieved through how Copilot cites the data sources behind the answers, and it provides the most up-to-date answer with no knowledge cutoff, grounded with the Bing search index. Next slide. And like mentioned earlier, there are 92% of technical professionals and business decision makers who have used an AI tool. So here are several ways that Copilot can help you on a daily basis. Employees and teams can leverage Copilot to help them complete tasks like summarizing PDFs quickly, drafting emails more efficiently, and getting answers to complex questions really easily. And these are just some of the common workday use cases we've seen, but there's so much potential there to unlock in productivity and creativity, especially when we get into Copilot for Microsoft 365, once it's generally available for CSP. All right, we can jump to the next slide, and I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the eligible SKUs. I know that everyone's excited about this as well. So Copilot is generally available as of December 1st, a couple of days back, at no additional cost for these SKUs you see on the left-hand side there: Microsoft 365 E3, E5, F3, A3, and A5 for faculty, as well as our business standard and business premium SKUs. Over time, our vision is to expand Copilot to any Entra ID user, so wherever and whenever an employee signs into Copilot using their work account, they will get that commercial data protection covered. And I think next we want to show a little bit about how Copilot, and so here is a little preview slide. Copilot that I'm speaking of with commercial data protection uses current web data, and then Copilot for M365 uses your company data. And in the next slide, we'll have a little bit more of a deeper dive into what that really means. All right. So you'll see here, Copilot is a secure chat box that uses online public data. Unlike Copilot for Microsoft 365, it does not have access to your customer's business data or content within the M365 tenant. It cannot access documents like things in OneDrive, SharePoint, emails, or anything else in your M365 data. And like I mentioned, if you're logged in with your Entra ID, you receive that commercial data protection at no additional cost. With Microsoft Copilot, organizations can unlock a benefit of generative AI, giving employees better answers, greater efficiency, and a new way to be creative. Copilot is accessible through copilot.microsoft.com, through the Edge sidebar, and through Windows Copilot. Think of Windows Copilot as a vehicle, and the engine within that vehicle is whatever you're licensed for. Copilot for Microsoft 365, on the other hand, is an AI assistant that helps you work smarter. It builds on Copilot and has many more advanced features. It offers enterprise-level security, privacy, compliance, and responsible AI to ensure your data is processed within your M365 tenant, and that Copilot is integrated into all of your Microsoft 365 apps, combining the power of large language model with individual users' data in the Microsoft Graph and within M365. Access to natural language to turn your words into the most productive tool on the planet. Cool. Let's jump ahead one slide. So how do we get the most out of Copilot for our SMB customers today? Well, in terms of new and existing customers, here are the key partner opportunities that we believe that we want to ensure that help accelerate adoption of Copilot. Number one, we want to make sure that the environment is safe. So ensuring Intune policies on that, so only AI tools can be used on managed and secure devices, and browsers are the ones that are accessing AI tools. We want to drive change management through end user awareness and readiness. And through that, we want to train users on generative AI prompt readiness to get the most out of Copilot and Copilot for Microsoft 365. And in preparation for Copilot for Microsoft 365, there are some prerequisite SKUs, so we want to make sure customers are on the right versions of M365, so when it is available in the CSP channel, they're ready to go. Next slide, please. So we're just the very, very early stages of our Copilot journey. And we want to thank you all for coming along this journey and helping our customers on their pathway to get ready for AI. And hope you're all as excited as we are about this. And as we prepare for Copilot general availability for the M365, we encourage our partners to convert that AI excitement into foundational productivity for your customers now. What that means is over the next few periods, we want to lay the foundation of Copilot for M365 by getting customers onto E3, Business Premium, or Business Standard. For customers over 300 seats, that means E3 or E5. For these customers, starting to prepare for Copilot for Microsoft 365 by working with your customer's data organization. It's critical. Last thing we want is for someone to put a prompt into Copilot and files pop up that they should not have access to. Use Business Premium features like data classification, sensitivity labels, and SharePoint and OneDrive sharing options to ensure that users only get access to the data they need while avoiding unattended access to confidential data. This is a crucial step that is not unique to Copilot for Microsoft 365, but oftentimes it's overlooked. So it's a valuable area where partners can start making a difference today in helping customers get ready for the next phase. And last but not least, we want to ensure that we introduce customers to Copilot today so they can start using an AI-powered tool that they have at their hands and be safe while doing it. They can do so at copilot.microsoft.com, readily available now. We do have some upcoming webinars that I'd like to share as we get closer into the new year on January. I think on the next slide, if not a couple of slides in here, we have some webinars that we talk about that are coming on January 24th and February 7th and 8th. Sales, both sales and technical. Registration is open for that, and we hope that you can join us for that as well.
Awesome. So I have been so excited about everything that is, Bing Chat Enterprise, Copilot, all these things. Now, how do you differentiate these? I mean, I know we've got Copilot, what are we calling it? Like Copilot Vanilla? Like, what do we do here?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Copilot that we all know, full stop, just Copilot, nothing after that. It is our consumer version. It is available for anyone and everyone. So you can go to copilot.microsoft.com. You can sign in with your Microsoft account, log in, and get the same benefits that you would as a commercial user. Now, if you are a commercial user and you're logging in with your Entra ID, you get that commercial data protection. That means that absolutely nobody at Microsoft, nobody at the IT admin level can access the prompts you're putting in, nor can they access the answers you're getting back. We don't use that data to teach our LLM either. And so you can be 100% certain that there's no leakage and that everything stays within the boundaries of your tenant. And then, of course, like I mentioned, we also have Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is generally available for our enterprise agreement channels, but not available yet on CSP. But when it does become available on CSP, we want to make sure these customers are ready to go. They feel comfortable with generative AI. They feel good about the prompts they can put in and get the most out of it. So more to come later on when Copilot for M365 will be available.
I appreciate you just throwing that out early and fast because I could feel the chat bubbling with, when do we get it? It's going to be coming, right? So it's not quite yet, but partners, I swear, the moment we know, you will all know too. Okay, so Tamim, you kind of set us up. We talked a little bit about what it is. Now, live demos are risky, and I'm really excited that you were like, yep, let's just go ahead and do it. So you told us we're going to see a little bit of a live demo of the Copilot. So let's go ahead and kick it off.
All right, I like that. And like you said, live demos could be a hit or miss, and especially when you're using generative AI to do it, sometimes the responses are could be different. So here you'll see that in my browser in Edge, I've navigated to copilot.microsoft.com. The one thing I want to call to your attention is if you're licensed for Copilot for M365, you'll see a toggle in the upper left-hand corner that allows you to switch back and forth between Copilot for Microsoft 365, which has access to all of your Microsoft Graph, has access to your meeting information, your Outlook information, all the files in your OneDrive and your Microsoft tenant, or you can switch back to the web version of it. There are several ways for you to access Copilot. So I mentioned you can go through the browser at copilot.microsoft.com. You even have the sidebar in Edge right here. And you can also access it through Windows Copilot if you're on the latest build of Windows. The one cool thing I want to draw your attention to is in the upper right-hand corner, this little green logo that says protected. This is giving me that peace of mind that my chat data is going to stay secure within this browser environment. As soon as I close out of it, as soon as I exit out, none of that information is saved and no one has eyes on it. So let's see it in action a little bit. I have some demo content and some assets that I could put to use here. Let's all pretend that we work at a e-bike company. We're creating this e-bike. It's really cool. Here are some of the specs of this unreleased e-bike. And there's a lot of technical mumbo jumbo here that I'm not really sure what it means. There's some good stuff here. Some of it I'm like, whatever. So love for Copilot to write me a value prop using what's on my screen here. I'll open up my sidebar in Edge, go to Compose over here. I'll paste a little prompt here. Use this information to write a short value proposition on a Thunderbolt e-bike. Want the tone to be enthusiastic. I want it to be in paragraph form, and I want it to be short. And you'll see in a short period of time, it'll start to generate a preview of what it thinks I want. While we're waiting, you can scroll through here. You can see that there are some technical details about this e-bike. Let's see. All right, so we have a preview of what it thinks it's the right value prop for us to take in. If I don't like it, I can make some edits to it. I can tell it to, you know what, it's too enthusiastic, tone that down a little bit. Or if I wanted to focus more on the range of the bike or the speed of the bike, I can do that. I can make it longer or shorter or whatever I want to do. But if I'm happy with it, I can copy it over to my clipboard, or I can simply add to site. Oops, let's see, try that one more time. And because it is generative AI, the prompt response might be different from what I typed in, what we got originally. But you'll see it's almost done there. There we go. I'll add it to the site. And just like that, I have an entire value prop of this bike written for me within seconds. I didn't have to do any work except for open up the Word document in my browser, point to it here, and have it do all the work for me. Now, while I was doing that, I thought about it, and I figured, like, why don't we do some research on our top competitors in the market right now? So I'm going to ask Copilot to compare the specs of the top 3 e-bikes in the market and put it in a table format for me and with some citations. Let's see what it gives me. Just like that, it's scouring the web to find multiple sources to give me a list of the top 3 e-bikes on the market with the site's source right here, as well as the option for me to import or export it into Word, PDF, or as a text document, copy it over to my clipboard, or I can export it into Excel. Now, I love this because if I'm done with this, and again, I don't want any of this stuff to be saved. I don't want anyone's eyes on it. It's an unreleased product. We're still trying to do our research. As soon as I close the browser, if I reopen it, let's see. I'll reopen a new browser with Copilot. None of that information is saved anywhere. I'll open my sidebar here. You'll notice that none of that information is saved here either. Very cool. Let's fast forward a couple of months down the road where the bike is complete. It's out there on the market. We have this comprehensive 2-page PDF that gives you an overview of the bike. And I'm ready to make some noise about this. I want to create some social posts that we can use on our Instagram page to go and advertise this new cool bike. We're going to ask Copilot to generate a dozen social posts based on the open PDF and see what it comes up. Again, I'm not having to copy and paste anything. I simply have the PDF opened up in my browser. I can scroll through it. I didn't have to tell it to look for anything specific. And just like that, it's able to take all that information and process it and give me a couple of social posts that I can leverage. And similar to the exporting within the table view, I can export it into a Word document, a PDF, or I can just copy it to my clipboard and move it to wherever I'd like to. And once I'm done, I'll close out the browser and none of that information is saved and I'm good to go. So that, in a very, very short way, is a Copilot demo in real life. As a marketer, I use Copilot for things like that almost on a regular basis. And we want to make these assets available for partners to use as well. So I'm glad to say that by the end of this week, all those resources will be available for partners, script included, demo files included, so that partners can do demos like this themselves for customers.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So I've been using this form of Copilot in a couple different ways, and it's just so easy because now we do have the Copilot M365 as well, but being able to just toggle back and forth, one, I know that the data's safe. I'm able to say, hey, you know what? This is more like a web search. Let me just use this version versus, hey, I need something that's internal to Pax8. So we've really learned a lot so far, just getting to play with some of these tools. So actually seeing you walk through it. Have you actually used it for any of your LinkedIn posts yet?
It's funny you asked that. I recently just launched a contest for Windows 365, and I used Copilot to write all my social posts, and as well as the copy for some of my terms and agreements. It makes life so much easier. I literally probably saved 30 minutes of time just from a couple of clicks and pointing to a file, and it did all the work for me. Of course, I went back through and edited it. I'm kind of a perfectionist in that way, and I had to make sure I cleaned up things here and there. But for the most part, the amount of work it did for me in seconds would have taken me at least 30 minutes to an hour to do for myself.
100%. And I mean, even like if you're watching on LinkedIn right now, Copilot wrote my LinkedIn post. I have no shame. Okay. No shame at all, because I was like, man, that's pretty good. Okay, perfect. I'll just tag Tamim and there we go. Perfect. They even did the hashtags, the whole thing. So I was pretty excited about that. Now, I knew you went through this just a little bit, but tell me one more time, now that we've gone through the demo, what SKUs is this functionality where your data is protected actually included?
Great question. So as of today, Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Business Premium, E3, E5, A3, A5, and F3 all have Copilot with that commercial data protection. Over time, our goal is for every single user with Entra ID will have access to Copilot with that commercial data protection at no additional cost. So if all you need is an Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, and you will have that commercial data protection coverage.
Excellent, excellent. And this is my shameless plug to what we talked about at the beginning of the show and the hands-on labs, because we do Entra hands-on labs as well. Now is the time. I don't know, Tamim, you said Entra quite a few times during your pitch here. So that's why I'm like, I think now would be the moment for people to go if they're not as familiar, right?
Absolutely. And the feedback we've gotten from partners about, there are so many customers out there who are on premises and have chosen not to move to the cloud. This has been such a compelling reason for them to consider moving to the cloud. It's amazing how a single technology can change the world so much. And I think now is a better opportunity than ever to get these customers ready. So when Copilot for M365 does come out for CSP, we're ready to hit the ground running, and they're able to use all these great tools that we were able to show off today.
100%. So if I'm an SMB and I want to just dip my toe in the water, is this where you think would probably be the good place to start?
Absolutely, no question whatsoever. So copilot.microsoft.com. Make sure you log in with your work information and your Entra ID. You have that commercial data protection. Start poking around. There's some prompts there that can get you started, give you some ideas on what to type in there. And then play around with some of your documents, play around with some of your PDFs, see what it can do for you. You'll be surprised at how much it can actually get done for you in a short period of time.
Oh my gosh. This half hour has absolutely flown by. Tamim, I just want to say thank you so much for jumping on. You're going to have to come back because I know there's more that we're going to talk about. And I know it's eventually going to be live. So once that happens, maybe we could do another demo. I think that would be great.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks for your time today. Absolutely. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's session of Technically Unraveled. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, because you aren't going to want to miss next week. We're going to talk to Britton. We're going to go through AI readiness with Pax8 and what does that really mean. I know you'll enjoy it, so we'll see you there.